heal by starting to show up as someone who no longer identifies with their pain. Brianna Wiest. If you've ever wondered what healing really takes, beyond affirmations, routines, and surface-level advice, if you're ready to understand healing not as a goal, but as a way of being, then this video is for you. So let me share my story, the moment I stopped trying to fix myself and finally started to heal. It began with one truth I had never let myself say out loud. I used to think healing would feel like peace. I imagined I'd wake up one day and the storm inside would be gone. No anxiety, no shame, no fear. Just lightness, certainty. But healing doesn't feel like peace at first. It feels like chaos. It feels like crying in your car over something you thought you were over. It feels like grief for people who still walk the earth. It feels like boredom, because your nervous system is no longer addicted to chaos, but calm still feels foreign. This is what no one tells you. Healing feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels unsafe. That's why people don't change. Not because they don't want to, but because change doesn't feel safe. Even pain can be familiar, and familiar feels like home, even when it's killing you. For a long time, I thought I was healing. I was journaling, meditating, reading. I knew my attachment style, my trauma wounds, my limiting beliefs, but nothing actually changed, because I was collecting information, not applying it. I knew the story of my pain. I just wasn't living a new one. I was fluent in what hurt me, and fluent in excuses not to let it go. I told myself, I'm working on it. I just need more time. But the truth was, I was afraid of who I'd be without my pain. Because if I stopped identifying with it, I'd have no reason to stay stuck. And then I'd have to choose, act, live differently. That's when I realized, you don't stay stuck because you're broken. You stay stuck because the identity you built around your pain is still in control. Everything changed the moment I stopped asking why and started asking something else. I was overthinking a message I wanted to send someone who had hurt me. Again. Someone I kept letting back in, hoping they'd finally treat me right. And instead of spiraling in old patterns, I paused and asked, what would I do right now if I believed I was worthy of something better? And I did that. I didn't send the message. I didn't beg. I didn't explain. I walked away, shaky, uncertain, but aligned, and that choice, more than any insight, is what moved me forward. That's when I finally understood. Healing doesn't come from understanding your pain. It comes from making new choices. You can analyze your trauma forever and still act from the same wounds. But the moment you decide, I will not text them back. I will not abandon myself to be accepted. I will do what's hard, not what's habitual. That's when healing begins. Because healing is not emotional. It's behavioral. Your nervous system doesn't speak language. It speaks repetition. And every time you choose something new, something better, something aligned, your body learns, I am safe now. Once I started choosing differently, I realized something else. You can't fully heal in the same environment that normalized your pain. It's not enough to understand where the wound came from. You have to stop revisiting it. I used to think I could stay connected to everyone and everything from my past and just feel differently. But healing required space, distance, not because I hated anyone, but because I finally loved myself enough to walk away. And with that space came the truth I'd been avoiding. I thought I couldn't move on until I got closure. The apology, the explanation, the validation. But the closure I was waiting for? It was actually a deeper form of control. I wanted closure to make the past make sense, so I wouldn't have to accept that I gave too much to someone who didn't see me. But real healing means giving yourself the ending, even when they won't. Closure isn't something they give you. It's something you choose. And the moment I chose to stop waiting for them, I started showing up for me. That was when I began to build something I never truly had: self-trust. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the person you were before the world told you who to be. When you trust yourself, you stop outsourcing your worth. You stop apologizing for needing space. You stop questioning what you already know. You begin to live for something real, your alignment. And yes, it was uncomfortable. But I learned that discomfort isn't a problem. Discomfort is not a sign something's wrong. It's a sign something is shifting. I used to numb discomfort, overthink it, run from it. But when I finally sat with it, I realized it wasn't pain. It was the pressure of growth. Discomfort is what happens when you're finally stepping out of the familiar and into the version of you that's been waiting. And along the way, I saw all the ways I'd been abandoning myself, disguised as kindness. I over-explained to avoid judgment, said yes when I meant no, smiled through moments that broke my heart. It wasn't love, it was fear. Fear will have you performing your life for people who don't even like themselves. The day I stopped negotiating with people who misunderstood me on purpose was the day I reclaimed my energy. That was healing. And no, it wasn't about blaming anyone. There's a difference between naming what happened and staying stuck in it. You are not responsible for your trauma, but you are responsible for your healing. That truth was hard to accept. But it is what set me free. Because as long as I waited for someone else to fix what they broke, I stayed powerless. The moment I took responsibility, I took my power back. So if you're wondering where to start here. Ask yourself, what is one thing I keep doing that hurts me? Then do the opposite, just for today. Don't justify your boundary. Don't check their Instagram. Don't wait for the apology. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to choose differently, one moment at a time. Healing isn't a final destination. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world taught you to forget, before you learned to shrink, to perform, to disappear. Healing is the process of returning to your clarity, your instincts, your voice, and living like you actually believe you deserve to be here. If this spoke to you, if something inside you cracked open while listening, it's not because I said anything new. It's because I reminded you of what you already know. And if you're ready to go deeper, everything I said in this video was inspired by a book that changed me. It's called This Is How You Heal by Brianna Wiest. I'll leave the link in the description, and if this helped you, let us know in the comments. Because I'll be back next week, telling the truth. No one else will say out loud, you're not broken, you're waking up, and this is how you heal. If this message helped you slow down or see things differently, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more mindful content like this and reach others who may need it. Thank you for watching. Namaste.